Hello there, welcome or welcome back. My name is Julie. This is my journal, specifically my health journal. Today, specifically my bills and insurance journal. So I had an appointment this morning with the pelvic floor physical therapist. That went really well. And then now I have spent the last hour paying bills. When you have a broken down body, like mine, and you do require quite a bit of medical services and medications and stuff like that, and you live in the US of America, this is what happens. Now I know, just going to put this out there out front, that other countries that have like a single payer system, universal health care, that kind of thing, are not perfect. I understand that. And I also understand how incredibly, let's make sure we shout it for the people in the back. I am so incredibly fortunate that I do have really good health insurance, especially compared to, a lot of people here. Really, really lucky to have a support system, really lucky to have a husband who has stayed in the same job and worked his way up and has had, union backing and all that. I am so incredibly fortunate. Let's make us all aware of that Julie is so grateful. At the same time, it sucks figuring all this stuff out. And then I will be today, for the first time, I think ever, I don't think I've ever done this before, I will be filing an appeal. So I called the guy, and their computer, or his specific computer, is down, or like the system's not working right now, and he's supposed to call me back. But he did also say I could go online and start the appeal process online. So I am going to attempt that and kind of see where it goes, but then still have him call me, and because it's nice to have like an actual human to talk to and kind of see where I've gotten to and maybe walk through it with him. I've never done this because there's been a few things over the years that they maybe didn't cover all the way or whatever. I mean, they almost never cover everything all the way. But whatever, gather your thoughts, Julie. I've only had half a coffee at this point, and it's been a very busy morning. So let's just get to the main crux of this, the point. They denied coverage for a test. Of course, it was after I had the test done, because it's a test that didn't require pre-authorization. There are a lot of things that do require pre-authorization. And so you wait, you don't get the procedure done, you don't get the whatever done until are they going to cover it or not? And if they're not going to cover it, well, you can appeal, you can fight it, you can choose to pay out of pocket, whatever, right? Or if you hopefully have an HSA, a health savings account, something like that, which hallelujah we do, but that's still our money that we're spending. We just have it set aside specifically for medical bills, and there's like a tax break on it and whatever. Anyway, so the problem with this specific situation is there was no pre-authorization required. And so it's one of those things, I didn't worry about it because there was no pre-auth. And so you just assume that, they're going to cover it. They've never not covered this particular kind of thing, so why wouldn't they? Well, what was it? It was a test for allergies, food allergies, specifically nut allergies, a nut allergy test. I have a long history. If you've followed me on here for any amount of time, then you will know. And my insurance, I absolutely know, they know, because they cover a nearly $5,000 a month immunosuppressant injection specifically for my allergies. So they know, they're well aware. There's been how many ER visits, how many EpiPens, and they're well aware I have a situation there. So with my doctor, my allergist, we were trying to figure out what was causing this this re-eruption of really extreme, an extreme allergic response. What we've basically come to is that the Xolair that I had been on for years and years was just completely out of my system. And so everything that it had suppressed before was no longer, of course, being suppressed. And we just had to get back on Xolair. And so we went through all the hoops and all that authorization, which is quite a process. Went through all of that and got back on Xolair, and hallelujah, it has suppressed a lot. I'll never be 100% without allergies and allergic responses, and I still have to do this puffer every morning, and I still have to take allergy medicine morning and night, and I still have to have EpiPens on hand, and I still have to take another supplemental allergy medicine at bedtime on top of the other allergy. Anyway, but this makes it so I'm not suffering so much all the time. I'm not breaking out into hives every day over every little thing. I'm not likely to end up in the hospital, not as likely to need an EpiPen if I, am attacked by, wasps and whatever. or come into some kind of allergen of, the food variety or whatever. It saves my life. Like, it keeps me from having to use life-saving measures on the regular. So anyhow, this test, though, as we're trying to figure out what's going on, was a nut allergy test. Just a standard, I've had allergy tests in the past, and you can't just have one allergy test and then be done for the rest of your life, because it's a situation that evolves, that changes. For instance, when I was maybe 22 years old, I was attempting to change a light bulb on the porch at my apartment. This is back in the day. And I'm trying to do that and not realizing that inside of this light fixture was a wasp nest. And I was attacked on the face. There were at least 25, maybe 30 spots they got me, stings. It was awful. But I didn't have an allergic, I didn't have a mass response or even like a massive local response. Yeah, I puffed up and stuff because, but there was no anaphylaxis. There wasn't like a toxic response where you're like throwing up and that kind of thing. None of that. But then just a few years later, not even 10 years later, I got hit by one wasp. When out in the backyard here at this house, and we were fixing a fence post, and there happened to be I don't remember if it was a ground nest or just a wasp that was hanging out, but I was there, it was there, and it got me, and it went bad really, really fast. Within 15 minutes, my entire body was covered in hives, and then there were hives on top of the hives. I had never seen anything like that. Of course, it required medical treatment, life-saving measures, all of those things. Okay. And then I was sick for like 3 weeks at least with the toxicity of it. Anyway, so one allergy test at one point in your life is not enough. It will change. It will evolve. Your body maybe will become less allergic to something. That's not likely, but it can happen. But more likely, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just my experience and what I've been told by my specialists, is that your body develops a response to different allergens. And so it can be progressive. So anyhow, one test is not enough to cover your entire life, your entire childhood, your entire adulthood. It's just not. So it's strange to me that they chose to not cover this test. And I was thinking about it, and to be honest, I don't know if I've ever had this test done. This specific, Mimi, will you let the kitty out, please? This specific nut allergy test. I actually don't think I've ever had it done. So why did they choose not to cover it? And it was like a couple of months after I had had the test done that I then get a letter denying my claim. So then, of course, payment hasn't been paid, so now I'm delinquent because the insurance didn't pay, and I had only paid my copay. So what do I have to, well, right away, I've got to pay it because I don't want it to like get sent into extreme delinquency and then collections. We don't want that. You definitely don't want that in modern America, to have anything affect your credit score. That's like a thing, okay? So, so we had to just pull this money out of our ass, and it was almost $400 for this one test, and you just have to come up with it from somewhere. And I know I'm not the only person for whom $400 is not a drop in the bucket and not something you just, pull out of nowhere. Luckily, hallelujah, it was at the time of year that we at least still had a buffer of like our emergency fund, whatever, that we'll contribute to as we can. And luckily at that time of the year, there was some money in there. And so, we were able to pay and get out of delinquency, pay for this test. And then after that, yes, I was frustrated about it and whatever, but then I had a million other things going on. I had a lot of hoops to jump through for the pre-authorization process of this spinal nerve ablation that we still have not scheduled. And I knew that would be likely, that it wouldn't get done in December. It's going to be next month. Okay. But there were so many hoops we had to jump through for that, while also still getting all the wet needling and the injections and the physical therapy and all those things. I was busy and I had other concerns. And so that denial of the nut allergy testing and all that, it just kind of, it was one of those things in the back of my mind, but then whatever. Well, then, we're going through and doing all this, and then some bills are coming due. And then this whole hullabaloo happened, with our friend Luigi. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to get demonetized or end up on a FBI watch list. So I'm just going to say the thing, United Health, Luigi, that thing happened and brought everything back to the forefront. And then I was like, wait a minute. Now, I'm not with United Health. Hallelujah. I'm not, because they deny everybody everything, apparently, allegedly. But my particular health coverage had been trying to do something sneaky. A branch of my provider had been trying to do something sneaky and then had changed their minds after that Luigi thing. It was all over the news. They were going to limit how long you could be on under general anesthesia while in surgery. What the hell? What are you going to, I'm putting your arm back on, but your allotted time for anesthesia has run out. So what? We're going to have you awake for the rest of this. What the fuck? Oh my God. So that was real. Look it up. It's really a real thing. They were going to, not deny, but they were going to limit how much anesthesia you could have, how long you could be under during surgery. Corruption, greed. Anyway, and then the whole Luigi thing happened, and then they backtracked immediately. Smart move. And are no longer, yeah. So all of that happened, and then I was like, yes, I'm so grateful I have my insurance. Mine is really good compared to a lot of others that people have. And then there's plenty of people that don't have insurance, and there's this and there's that. And I had just kind of let it go. But you know what? I don't have to just let it go. We pay a fortune in premiums. A fortune. I'm not going to go into how much, but it's a lot that we pay every 2 weeks all year for our insurance. And that's just medical. That's not including vision, dental, auto, home, all the that's other, okay? We pay a fortune. And with my particular medical history, they know, yeah, allergies, that's a problem. It's not a pre-existing condition, and hallelujah, we have not yet lost our coverage for pre-existing conditions, though under this next administration, there's a very good chance we will lose that. Do you guys remember what that was like? Having pre-existing conditions and being denied coverage because of those? I have asthma. I do know what that's like. I know exactly what that's like. Yeah. So, hopefully we don't lose that. Anyway, I got really annoyed. I got really frustrated. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we are paying an absolute fortune for our health coverage. This is not some strange, weird, out of the realm of possibility that this patient would, and they pay for my EpiPens, they pay for how many ER visits, and then my Xolair injection. So why did they choose to deny this particular allergy test? I don't know. And it doesn't make sense. And for me, it's a lot of money. $400 is a lot of money. But for the insurance company, it's not even a drop in the bucket. It's not even a thought of a drop in the bucket. Unless you add it up cumulatively, over your hundreds of thousands of clients, well, then yeah, I guess it does add up. But why are you willing to pay for this other thing, but not this that's very much related? It doesn't make sense. Not only that, we have like the premium package. Like we got the top tier package because of my health. And my kids, they've got some issues and problems too, but let's be honest, the majority of it is because of this broken, burning down circus that I'm blessed to live in. Okay, and that I make do with the best I can, that I'm grateful that I have this body. We got the top tier package. So it costs a fortune, like crazy. How much it costs, how much it takes, percentage of our income goes to keeping this body going, having insurance. Why can't they cover it? Why can't they cover that? Again, acknowledging how incredibly fortunate I am, how lucky I am. Okay? Why can't they cover that? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I know I'm not the only one that is angry, that is getting frustrated, that is tired of being pitted against my fellow working class people and us blaming each other as the problem when it's not. It's not us. We who live nearly paycheck to paycheck trying to keep the family going, keep the mortgage paid, and maybe add in some extras here and there, try to live the American dream. I know I have avoided getting political across our channels, and I'm going to continue avoiding that on our main channel because that's not the place for it. And I'm not saying I'm turning into a political talking head or anything, but my health is not politics. My ability to stay alive and breathe and not suffocate is not politics. It's a basic human right. So, I don't feel like that should be political, but it does end up being political. And we can't help but see that the majority of us have been pitted against each other for decades so that we wouldn't look up and see, oh my God, they're screwing all of us. They pit us against each other politically. Oh, they're bad. We're the only good ones. We're the only right ones. At the end of the day, the thing that unites all of us is our desire to live and live well and be able to pay our bills. That unites all of us, I should think. You're not the problem. I'm not the problem. We work our asses off. I'm a dumpster diver, for crying out loud, to help pay for the extras. My husband works his ass off. We've done it all correctly. We don't live outside of our means. We live in a small home so that we have, hallelujah, the opportunity to own a home. I drive a 21-year-old van because it's paid off and it's fantastic, and we're going to ride that thing into the ground. We're doing things right. We're not extravagant. We're not those things, okay? Do I go to Disneyland when I can afford it? Yeah. Could I afford it this year? Nope. Will I be able to afford it next year? Probably not. We do the best that we can. And like I said, then I go dumpster diving and do this YouTube thing to try to make those extra things, those American dream kinds of things happen, right? I think most of us are in kind of that same boat at some level of that boat, whether sinking in the water or just barely above, okay, trying to just do our best. You are not the problem. I am not the problem. It is greed and it is corruption and it is paying a fortune in premiums to have like premium top tier health coverage and then getting denied for a basic test and not knowing until after because there was no pre-auth required. This is where I'm at right now, the last few weeks. You know, you get busy in your life, you get busy worrying about all these other things, and then something happens, something revolutionary, and you can't live with your head in the sand anymore. It hits you. Oh my God, I can't just keep avoiding this. I do need to acknowledge and address this. I did get screwed over, which doesn't feel good. And it doesn't feel good admitting, oh, they screwed me over. Yeah, they covered a lot of things, but that's their job. And I pay a fortune for them to cover a lot of things. Or cover a part of a lot of things. Like, I don't need to, this is going to be out there. This is going to be, woo! I actually don't need to feel grateful to them. I don't need to feel grateful to this corporation. I'm grateful to my husband for working his ass off. I'm grateful for that so that we could get this insurance. But I don't need to be grateful to a corporation because sometimes they will deign to cover the things they've promised to cover. Yeah. I can fight back while acknowledging how lucky I am, how fortunate I am that I have coverage, that I have the coverage that I do. I can still fight back and I can still demand better coverage. We are allowed to feel that. Two things can be true at the same time. I can be incredibly fortunate to have the coverage that I do, and I can demand better coverage, especially based on how much we pay to have that coverage. You have permission to be grateful for what you have in your life and to also demand better. You have permission. You have my permission. We get so often, oh my God, we get told, yeah, but you've got it good because so-and-so, da-da-da-da. Okay, so because someone in this part of their life has something better than what someone else is experiencing, that then means that we shouldn't try to have better, not only for ourselves, but for other people too. That's bizarre. So I was looking and I was adding it up. If I didn't have the coverage that I do, I was looking at how much money it would cost in the last 2 months. 2 months, just 2 months, based on the services that not just me, that all of us received, and my Xolair monthly injections, because they're a lot, and the couple of things that insurance just plain won't cover at all because they're considered too experimental, though other countries have them approved, but ours doesn't, but I need them for my body. Yeah, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of between $15,000 and $20,000. For the last 2 months. For the procedures I've had done, the test injections I've had done for the spinal ablation, the, physical therapy, the medications, the other doctor visits, consultations, follow-up visits, all of those things. Lulu, will you let Kitty in, please? Between $15,000 and $20,000 across the whole family for all of it, the care we've received in the last 2 months. Now, granted, we've been doing a lot in the last 2 months. Lots of physical therapy, all the hoops we've been jumping through, which has been lots of visits with different providers to get this nerve ablation thing approved. But if we didn't get these things done, I wouldn't be able to walk, stand, sit, function. I wouldn't be able to function. If I didn't get the Xolair, I would be in hives every day, bordering on anaphylaxis, because once they progress, and especially if it's every day, it does progress. And any little allergen that normally wouldn't affect me like crazy because of not being suppressed, immunosuppressed, could set off the whole thing. And we end up in the hospital, hopefully, if you live. So staying alive and staying mobile and getting the rest of the family their basic medical and mental health needs, $15,000 to $20,000 for the last 2 months if we didn't have insurance. How much did we pay? I haven't added that up yet. Deductible, co-pays, insurance premiums that we pay every 2 weeks. I haven't added any of that up yet. It certainly wasn't $15,000 or $20,000. Okay. How are people supposed to? How? So if you don't have this coverage, if you don't have access, what, you don't walk? You don't function? What, then try to get on disability welfare? And then if you have the allergy problem that I do, this severe allergy problem, then what? Well, you die. Yeah. Incidentally, I'm working on a video. I've done some of the filming, but I need to do some more and then edit and all that. The promised video of bringing you along for my monthly Xolair self-injections and what that's all about. And bringing you along for actually, I do the injections. The medication is shipped here to my home and I do the injections. It's 2 of them. I'm just incredibly lucky, incredibly fortunate. But there are plenty of people, they don't have this. They can't do this. And so what? They suffer. They die. They rely on family. They rely on the government. They suffer. And that's bullshit. It is. It's ridiculous. Do I have all the answers? No. I know definitely has something to do with corporate greed, corruption, people not paying their fair share of taxes, people at the top. I know that's a big part of it. Beyond that, no, I don't have all the answers. I just know that this fucking sucks and that I'm filing an appeal for my nut allergy test that was denied. Because it'd be really nice to have that almost $400 back. It'd be really great. This is what's going on with me today in my health journal, that I'm bringing you along for it. Because of things that are going on in the world right now, especially here in the US. It is a volatile time. It is a wild and wacky time. A time I never would have foreseen, especially having brought children into the world. Not exactly ideal circumstances right now. And that's rough. And we're going to talk more about that here, because here on this channel, I get to vent. I get to say whatever the hell I want to an extent. I still want to be monetized. But this is where I get to do that. Still doing it with a smile, but I don't have to be Molly Sunshine, only positive, whatever, that I try to bring on our other two channels. Here we can get down in the dirty, in the gritty, and talk about the truth, the honest situations that are going on. Yeah, like I said, this is not going to turn into a political commentary talking head channel, but I am wanting to bring you along for this kind of stuff because, well, for many reasons. One, so that you know you're not alone, okay? And to bring light to some of these situations. Now, again, acknowledging that single payer or universal healthcare is not perfect. Plenty of corruption, plenty of problems. Many of our viewers from around the world have told us, yeah, it is not perfect. You have to wait months and years even for procedures and tests and this and that. And so, like I said, I don't have the answer. And I'm not saying that that situation would be perfect either. No, I'm not saying that. Nope. Somewhere there has to be a happy middle ground where you can still get access to the healthcare that you need without going bankrupt. If you end up with a lifelong illness, a terminal illness, a catastrophic, disastrous injury, cancer, any of the, I mean, like, it destroys people here. It destroys their entire lives, not just of the person who has cancer, whether they live or die, but their entire family. Destroys them financially, which of course destroys everything else. Like it or not, money, the root of all evil, is very necessary. And the lack of it can destroy your entire life, every other aspect of your life. They say money can't buy happiness. That's bullshit. That's people with lots of money that say that, okay? No, money absolutely could solve a lot of problems. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? You're not bad for wanting enough money to take care of yourself and your family. You're not. That does not make you greedy. That makes you human. That has been my journal for today. Yeah, it's a wild time. It's a crazy time. But you and I, we do deserve better. Mm-hmm. Whether you've got amazing insurance that absolutely covers every freaking thing, or you have no insurance, or you've got Medicare or Medicaid, or you're not in the US and you have universal health care that sometimes is good in like a disastrous situation or a terminal situation, but is terrible on the daily, whatever. You and I, just as humans who were born into this world of no choice of our own, we do deserve better. We just do. And that's not greedy to want that. So, soapbox done. We are stepping down from the soapbox. It's a lot, but it is what I am doing today. It's what I'm have spent my whole morning doing, is paying bills and figuring this stuff out. And we'll be now spending, I don't know how long, filing an appeal. And this is my journal, and so I share this kind of stuff. Yeah. Also, I'm thinking about having a couple of live streams, probably on our main channel, the Frugal Family, or we could do it here, whatever. Just kind of a little bit through this little bit rest of the holiday season, because I know that there are plenty of us out there who are lonely, who are suffering, who are struggling, who don't have a family support system or a support system of friends or what have you. And I thought, I'm not much. I'm just this wacky lady, on the YouTubes. But if I can distract for a moment here and there. Gatita, quítate. Oh, my kitty. There's wires. If I can provide some company, some friendship, some comfort, some something through a live stream. You hear her? Ay, infeliz gatita, maldita. Then I would like to do that. I can't commit at this moment, just because the holidays and being busy and the health things and the whatever, to doing my regular weekly live streams on the main channel, though I will get back to that in the new year. But just a couple of live streams, maybe extended live streams, like, a couple hours, whatever. Just, well, to have someone to talk to. Whatever. I don't know if that would help. If it would, if it's something you're interested in, tell me in the comments. But also in the comments, if you yourself have dealt with insurance denials and insurance struggles and healthcare struggles and healthcare coverage struggles, which I'm sure 99% of us have, tell us about your experiences in the comments. And if you would like to be participate in an upcoming video where we will be talking more about this subject, let me know. I'm going to go have some more coffee because I've got an appeal to do and I've got final holiday stuff to wrap up, literally wrap up, and gifts. Oh God, we've got the neighbor gifts to do. One more Christmas card to send out. I thought I was 100% done with like family friends kind of thing. And then I remembered a family that I hadn't sent one to. And I'm like, how could I possibly not send a Christmas card to this particular family that we love so dearly? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have some more of my mulled wine. What time is it? Ooh, I can do it now. Yeah, it's not morning anymore. My mulled wine. Oh, it's so good. Oh, my goodness sake. Then for the week of New Year's, I'll do wassail. Some alcoholic, some non-alcoholic. But it's just, there's something about it as it just warms all the way down, and the fragrance and and then with the Christmas tree lit up and a movie going and, that kind of thing. It's precious little things. Nothing extravagant or exciting, but precious. Anyway, I appreciate you. You are valuable. You are worthwhile. You do matter. You deserve good things and happiness. Anyway, this has been my journal. I've been Julie. You're fabulous. You're just absolutely fabulous. I'm going to go have some coffee, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye.